Oh, good evening and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View this evening. Celtic just got beat 3-0 by Roma in the Europa League. The only good point of the second half were the substitutes that came on. The first half was all about Liam Scales. The first half of the match was, what could you say, was it the Liam Scales show on a night where we paid tribute to this man who is an absolute fantastic player and legend and in his day. And would he have made such a difference? I tell you one thing, Kelechi Iheanacho has a bit of the stature that Dixie Deans has. Can he give Celtic what they need over the next couple of weeks and months? Because Daisen Maeda was not at the races tonight. Daisen Maeda was nowhere near it, wasn't up to pace. The Yang was absolutely nowhere near it. I don't know what the issue with Yang is. For me, there's certain players in that Celtic team that should not be playing for Celtic ever again. A lot of people will obviously look at the manager and say, yep, it's the manager's fault. But we need to stay calm. As Paul just said, yep, we need to stay calm because there is a lot of players. Um, for me, this was on Nancy. Poor formation was there. No game plan, says Craig. Craig, Liam Scales headers into his own net 4 minutes into the game. You can't. There's no words for the own goal that Liam Scales did. There's no words at all. Liam Scales headers into his own net. Liam Scales then lets the ball go past him for the second goal. Rather than sticking his leg out, he didn't even try and defend the ball. He let the ball go past him, and the striker just slipped the ball into the back of the net. And then the third one was just as bad. It was horrible to watch in the first half, but the second half was a little bit better. Was the second half what the manager wanted? I would say so. Playing four at the back the second half, I think that we need to play four at the back. I think that the manager realised that we don't have the players to play three at the back. We've failed to score in 2 games now under a new manager. And is that the player's fault? I would say yes. We had a penalty. He hits the post. You've then got Rio Hitati misses a sitter. We need players in January. I'm not going to overreact because whatever happens, Petty Scales can't head the ball into the opposite net. Yeah, exactly. Um, we know that we're rubbish. We know. Listen, Martin O'Neill got a song at the players. That might, if Martin O'Neill had stayed, that might have not lasted to the end of the season. Martin O'Neill knew the limitations of the players. Martin O'Neill said, he said, look, when I had the team, we had a team of winners. We had a team of men. We don't have that. We don't have a team of men, and that's the issue with Celtic right now. Negrin, what's the point? You could say that. I literally can't state the state of Engels. Expect a striker for the MLS in January. Well, if we get that one that's going to cost around about £10 million, I think that it could be a good thing. But anyway, stay calm. We all want simple answer. Wrong time to change the manager. Would Wrong time to change the manager? Well, we had to change the manager. It's as simple as that. There's no point talking about Martin O'Neill being. Martin O'Neill thought he was coming in for 2 weeks. There's no point in talking about Martin O'Neill and what he might have done and what he could have done. Martin O'Neill wasn't there. He didn't want to be there any longer, no matter what we say. Go for Evans. I think that if he goes back to his parent club, I think we could. Baz, it would be foolish to think that the board are going to give Wilfred Nancy money to buy players to play in his system. Why would it, Jim? Why? Because on the second half performance, um, If the board do not back the manager, then the sack the board campaign will go to another level. So the board have to back their manager. It's as simple as that. Do you like the fact that Scales is on this with his own little goal? Oh, Scalesy, Scalesy, Scalesy. What did you do tonight? Honestly, mate. Um, I still can't believe that Scales ultimately was at fault for the 3 goals. There's a new member to the One Celtic Fans View. Just seen that there. But anyway, what was that? Tell me in the comment section, and we'll get your comments up on the screen. We have a team with very little physical presence. Yeah, we in the second half we brought on players that do have physical presence. We brought on Colby Donovan, fantastic player coming through. He needs to start every week. Colby Donovan. We brought on Tony Ralston, the bricky. You know that you get physicality with him. You could say that the manager made the wrong decision tonight, and the players that he started with, the manager's getting to. He would have learned a lot from tonight, and I think that going forward, Benji Negron's fitness is embarrassing. Fitness is zero. He's a skinny young lad. Don't get me started on them. I mean, they probably wear skinny jeans. Nancy should have come in the summer when Martin was there to steady the ship, but that's too late. The summer's too late because if you want to qualify for the Champions League, you have to bring in the manager now. Yes, we could have maybe waited until Martin O'Neill won the cup and then bring the manager in, but the manager needed to be given time to see what players are good enough for the next window. I mean, without that, you're then bringing a manager in the next window. If you're bringing a manager in the summer, that's too late. Ange Postecoglou came in the summer, could not get us into the Champions League. We cannot afford to be out of the Champions League for 2 seasons in a row. James Beattie, how are you this morning or the evening? I got up, married in New York City this morning and watched this afternoon. Never getting. James Beattie got up this morning, got married in New York City, and then watched the game this afternoon. Never getting married again. Oh man, James Beattie, you crack me up. Congratulations on getting married. Um, oh, that's the funniest thing that I've read all night. That is absolutely beautiful, James. Um, you're a top guy, top guy. That's that's just made my day. Um, go for Evan Ferguson. Yeah, I think we should. We definitely need that Evans Ferguson. We need a couple of strikers. We need a couple of midfield players. The board have allowed us to drop to this level. It's on them. Well, I did do. I didn't even finish the. I didn't close the poll down, did I? I just finished the video. Um, enjoy your wedding day, mate. Oh man, get married this morning and I watch Celtic get completely embarrassed in Europe. Waste of money again. Who's the waste of money? What system? Yeah. Scales. Uh, was that Scales' worst nightmare of a game? Yes. Scales was absolutely woeful. He was terrible in the first half. If Scales is what we're having to rely on going forward, do you know? Martin Neal was the best. Yeah, it was that, but we can't go backwards. We are finished. Scales has got a head like a 50 pence. The board are holding us back. Usual. From the usual. Arrogance or stupidity in the lineup? I would say stupidity. Um, I would say stupidity from the manager. I think that it was naivety, if anything. It was more naivety from the manager thinking that the players were good enough, that professional players were good enough to play the system that he wanted. And I think it says more about this. It does say more about the standard of the player at Celtic Park, believe it or not. Do you know that they're not able to change formation Do you know, they're not top international players, and that's the reality of what we are. Scales is too busy watching and pulling players rather than eye on the ball, but that Scales does that week in week out. Do you know? Scales does that every single week. There's nothing new about what Scales did tonight. Um, but that is an interesting comment. It's all down to quality of player that we have. Yes, this is very true. Um, Problem is, better quality means better wages. But is it? Does it? I mean, we paid 5 million for Balak Wisha. Um, I mean, he looked lively tonight. He looks as if he could actually be a bit of a player. Balak Wisha. He was lively in the second half. Thanks for the super chat, wee Mitch. This is all on the board. And congratulations to James on getting married today. Yeah, we know it's all on the board, but you've got to give a manager time. We have to give the manager until the end of the season. It's as simple as that. Jumping on a manager after 2 games. We jumped on Ange Postecoglou the first 6 games of the season. It's not ideal to change manager mid-season. Do you know, it might have been okay to keep O'Neill. Martin O'Neill's team might have got gubbed tonight. Liam Scales was at fault for the 3 goals. Liam Scales would have played in the same position under Martin O'Neill. Do you know, so taking that away from it, if we had scored the opportunities that we had, and this is something that goes back past 3 managers now, very, very poor in the final third. And that's the issue that we had. The first half, we didn't take our chances. The second half, you could say that we're unlucky. Kelechi Iheanacho getting ruled offside. That's a hard one to take, but he was a mile offside. That's the reality. But it is all down to the quality and better wages. Midtjylland are unbeaten this season, by the way, from what I know. Well, they are not top of the table. They are not top of the Europa League table. Lyon are top of the Europa League table. Midtjylland have been beaten in the Europa. They were beaten by the team that beat us tonight, Roma. But you can see on the league there that Celtic are now down in 24th position. We've got 2 games to save our season when it comes to the Europa League. Can Wilfred Nancy get these players? It's the last game in Europe now in December. Looking forward to what we do have going forward in December. There's no easy games. But what the manager needs to do is get a tune out of the players, because the players need to learn and the manager needs to learn. Do you know, he needs to learn his players that can play the way that he wants. When you look at the games that are coming up this month now, we've got St Mirren in the League Cup final. I said, there were some players say, would you take getting beat tonight and win at the weekend? I thought we could have got a win tonight. I thought we could have won 2-1. You can't comprehend Liam Scales heading it into his own goal 4 minutes into the game. That changes the dynamics of the game completely on the 4-minute mark. We go into the St Mirren game. It's a wider pitch. I think the manager now knows that we need to play 4 at the back. If he doesn't know that after tonight, and if he goes into the game against St Mirren with 3 at the back, yeah, we need to start questioning the manager's tactics, big style. But I think we'll go 4 at the back against St Mirren. We've then got Dundee United on Wednesday the 17th. That's a big game for Celtic as well. We then go to Sunday the 21st of December. Aberdeen are turning the corner in their season. They're starting to get into it. We then go away to Livingston on the 27th of December. We then have Motherwell on the 30th of December. And then we play Rangers on the 3rd of January. It's a crazy busy spell. I know it's difficult tonight. I know it's upsetting tonight that we've ultimately been beaten. But Scales is bombshell. 3-0 flattered us. We got pumped tonight. I don't think we got pumped. We got pumped in the first half. Wrong players for his touchdown. Wilson Nancy's fault, but players not strong enough. Too scared, cannot hold on to the ball. Many chickens coming home to roost. Shambles all round. I mean, let's talk about our striker tonight, Dyson Maeda. He couldn't keep the ball if he tried in the first half. Every ball that Dyson got, he lost. He lost the ball. Did he do it on purpose? Do you know, Scales had a mare in the Champions League. Yeah, and he had a mare in the Champions League and that. Why did Scales not put a leg out? He usually goes for everything. Yeah, he let the second goal, he just didn't even put a leg out at all. He let the ball come right past him and go into the back of the net. Anyway, let me just click onto this and listen into what...
You have to win. You have to win now. And he just can't find the solution. It seems like the players just can't find a solution on the pitch. And that dictates the atmosphere.
Sports.
If they're winning, the place is bouncing. If they're losing, people just don't enjoy it. You can see, fans are leaving at half-time. You can see unhappy fans. And that's normal. We've been in this situation.
Stan, what I noticed is I've had bad games here. And if you have a bad game here, if you're not trying, you feel the aggressivity from the crowd. I didn't even feel that tonight. I didn't even feel that. It was just
flat.
It was a boo. If you don't perform at this stadium, you can be scared to get on the ball. I didn't feel that tonight. I felt they were scared to get on the ball because they didn't know what they were doing once they got it.
Which is a clear change from what was happening 2 weeks ago when everybody seemed to know their role within the team. Yeah, and like I say, there's things that you got to understand in football, like it or not. It's not easy for a new manager, a new system. But as you said, it's not rocket science, and there are certain things that you can do in between. But it's just not happening, those little bits. I think Iheanacho came on and did what I expected to see from a Celtic player tonight, and it really stood out, but it shouldn't stand out. Energy, passion, taking the game by the scruff of the neck. All right, the goal didn't count.
Never done it.
Let's get on the press. Let's not let them get out. Things that just didn't see it. Just don't feel like it's quite united at the moment. But
not united.
He's got to learn. He's got to learn quick. Unite the team. Unite the club. And we all know how quickly it can turn. And Sunday's huge now.
I mean, it really is. And again, this result tonight, you talk about, Roma being a well-established European club with a huge budget, but it is another defeat. And in the eyes of the Celtic fans, when you go to Hampden Park to compete for a trophy, they expect you to bring that trophy back here. And it now puts an awful lot of focus, doesn't it, on his team selection and on the shape and the tactics that he's going to deploy against St Mirren.
Massive.
There's so many questions out there after the first two games. There's so many, the style of play, the attitude of the players, where the team is going, the decision that the manager has to make, because now Sunday it becomes huge and he can't put himself under that kind of pressure so early.
If you're a player, though, are you starting to doubt almost or lose confidence? Because, I mean, I think you said it earlier on, just what the players are supposed to be doing, what their role is within the team.
Of course. And I used to play under manager, and sometimes you start to questioning things. When you have, you play under Ange Postecoglou. When he came to the club, a lot of people will have question and what he's do. But I believe when he passes messages and he tell you what to do, you kind of believe it. You go and do it. You stick with it. At the moment, we don't see this from the players, and this is a big issue.
We had a great example of that. I remember we lost 1-0 away at Livingston, and we were trying to play on the plastic pitch, trying to play how Ange had asked us to play 4 or 5 games in, getting beat like tonight, getting hit from behind, losing the ball. Maybe we need a little plan B in these situations, Gaffer. Before we could even say it, that finger was out. Absolutely not. This is how I want you to play. You do it in any situation, and you believe in it. And for me, that meant the world to me, because sometimes I was stood on the ball, do I go long? I don't know if someone wants it. Now I know I'm giving you the ball. You're getting the ball, and you better show for me, because he is coming for you. It's not on me. And that is the messages that need to be clear once you get in and you start building a new system. That's what the new manager's got to do. He's got to make them believe, and got to make that the repercussions are that they're not doing it, and it's not on him.
Too many players were not doing it tonight. Let's listen to what Johan Malby has to say.
If you just get simple instructions what to do in each and every position, and you know what you're going to do as a player, then it's fine. Then you're not going to question the manager. But if it's going to be very intricate and difficult for them to understand, yes, then obviously you as a player get a wee bit uncertain, because obviously you can't make the passes you usually do, and you can't find your teammates like you usually do. So yes, that's definitely a worry.
And funny thing is, like, Wilfried Nancy, he wants to play attacking football on the front foot, creating chances. I mean, that doesn't matter. He has touched the ball twice in opposition penalty area. I'm a striker.
That's a striker.
Johan, we used to play with strikers like, give me the ball, get me involved, get me chances. I want to be involved.
So hard.
We don't see that from this team. And it's a manager who's giving you a plan that he wants to play exciting football. He wants players to connect, to understand the messages.
So it's the players.
You've got to earn the right to play exciting football, though. You can't just go out there and expect a team to roll over. For all this domestic drama that we're talking about, Roma don't care. Roma are a top team. They got a job to do tonight. Couldn't believe their luck when that first half Celtic team turned up. They're not going to wait for anyone, just like St Mirren won't on Sunday.
What do you say then to fans who...
Massive game on Sunday, and the manager definitely needs to get it right on Sunday.
In the door, what was he appointed, the 3rd of December? You know, you can't judge Wilfried Nancy yet, can you?
No. I think he needs his chance.
He needs a transfer window?
He needs, but it's a very difficult transfer window. I mean, the next transfer window, the players, the good players don't leave, or if they leave, they'll be expensive. Is the board prepared to spend a lot of money? Is Nancy already with the targets? I'll be surprised if that happens. I'll be surprised.
I agree to a certain point.
This is Johan Malby talking.
He needs to start winning football games.
Johan Malby saying we need to start winning football matches.
If you want to play attack-minded football, you need to play with intensity, the really, really high press, and really go for it. And every time I watch Celtic play, they don't really have that intensity that I used to see, like 12 months ago. But going
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, exactly. And that needs to get back, regardless of the system. I want to see Celtic on the front foot, really going for it every time, especially at home.
So from that, would you suggest that he is not bringing that out of the players so far, that his personality is not getting the best out of them so far, the fact that they aren't being able to play like you expect a Celtic player to play in the last couple of games?
To an extent, but it's up to the players. You've got to have self-pride. You've got to put yourself on that pitch.
Self-pride.
Regardless of who the manager is. You've got to represent this jersey and represent this badge.
And that's the bare minimum, isn't it?
That's the bare minimum. You've got to work together. It's not just one man telling you what to do. You're not at school.
Are this team playing together ultimately? And I think that that's one thing that Joe Hart talking about.
Put yourself on that pitch.
Self-pride. Joe Hart obviously talking about self-pride and talking about the players. Can they up it? Can they make us better? Can we just click to Joe Hart and see Joe Hart on the screen? No, we can't, because we're on that. Could have if we were on the other one. But anyway, let's click back up and see if we're going to hear from the Celtic manager.
We'll get his thoughts on that performance and result after this.
So we are going to listen to Wilfried Nancy live, so make sure that you stay tuned in. Nancy coming up next, can't wait. This is going to be interesting to see what Wilfried Nancy does say about the game tonight, and have your say also. We will stay tuned for another 2 or 3 minutes till the adverts are over. We'll get some of this poll. Can Wilfried Nancy pull this round? We'll do a poll about that. Let's just do a quick poll then. There's 478. Here's a quick poll for you. Can the manager turn this around? There's been 2,000 people on the live already. There's 412 still on. Can the manager turn this around? Straight up, there is 21 votes already. 37 votes. 53%, 55% say no, 47% say yes. It's changing all the time. 55 votes, 56. We'll run this poll for a little bit until the manager does come on and speak. and we'll see what he has to say. Let's jump it back into this. Schmeichel needs dropped weeks ago. Is it Schmeichel's fault? Is it Schmeichel or is it the defenders? Scales would never be on the pitch. Honestly thought Maeda would have been amazing tonight since it was Europe, says Michelle. How did it look from the stands, Michelle? How did it look from the stands watching that? Tell us in the comments. We're done, over and out. I don't think that we're done. Can't blame the manager for player mistakes. Yeah, exactly, David Little. Too many mistakes from the players tonight. Players that should have known better. Liam Scales should have known way better. Let me jump into the super chats whilst we are waiting on the manager coming back on to chat. Super chat from James Beattie, who got married this afternoon and then watched Celtic. He said he's never getting married again. Super chat from Wee Mitch. Baz, this is all on the board. Congratulations to James Beattie. I would rather have Starfelt than Scales. The downgrade is real. Yes, it is that. And then John, the truck driving legend, coming out of Dunfermline, says, did the fans outside the main stand after the first half? No energy, no commitment, no style. Second half made changes, a little bit of a difference. I said to my wee mate, I can see the beginning to see the man and justification with us. Right, the manager is about to come back on. We're about to hear from Wilfred Nancy. Sinisalo should be on goal Sunday. We'll wait and see. I don't think he'll drop the goalkeeper. I mean, Scales is one that's maybe needing dropped for definite. But who do you bring in? We don't have the players to bring in. This is the situation that we are in. We don't have the squad of players that's required to play at this level, as we are just waiting on the Celtic manager coming back to tell us his thoughts on the game. Scales, I'm sorry, boss. I forgot what colour. Oh, jeez. I mean, a lot of people will say Scales won't get dropped, says Chilpill. Nah, he won't get dropped. We don't have the players. Simple as that. Now, here we come back in with the Europa League, and we're going to listen.
Have beaten their hosts by 3-0 this evening. Let's get the thoughts of the Celtic manager, Wilfried Nancy. This was Connie.
We're going to listen to the Celtic
Wilfried,
manager.
Not the result you would have hoped for. What did you ask for from your players that you didn't get tonight?
No, I ask a few things, but the reality is we are not able to cope with the intensity, and they try to do well, but the first half was difficult. We were not able to come out of the pressure, and we had a few moments where we unbalanced them, but we didn't keep the time edge that we had. So that's why it was difficult. So we were on the battle all the time. And as soon as we have a bit of time to play forward, we didn't take the good decision, but it was not easy for my players. I really liked the second half, good reaction. We played with a little bit more proximity between players to escape the pressure, and we installed a little bit more. After that, it's I don't like to talk about luck, but the first goal that we conceded didn't help also, because we are on the corner again, but this time was an own goal. So to come from behind was not easy. So listen, the attitude was good. The attitude was good. Second half was better, but it was not enough. They were better than us.
If you were asking for more intensity and not getting it, what do you think that says about the message and how well that's being heard by the players at this stage?
No, listen, they did try. I cannot tell you that they didn't try. They tried, but the battle of power was too strong. Simple as that. And after that, we should have been able, to connect a little bit more, but we didn't do it. So again, this is the situation. I'm not concerned because I really like the reaction, and for me this is the most important. And they deserve at least to score one goal to see after that if the dynamic can change. But yeah, for the moment this was too strong.
The fans might be concerned, though. It's 2 defeats in a row, and given the fact there's a huge game looming on Sunday, a cup final, when do you begin to think this is, even though it's such an early stage of what you're trying to do, when do you think this is going to click into place and you'll see what you want to see out there?
No, I saw already good things. After that, the result, this is not what we want for sure, but I saw already good things. Today, I saw good things.
But when will the results change?
Sorry?
When do you anticipate the results will change?
I would like the result change today, but again, we play to win games. But the reality is this is not the situation. And we had also hit the post the last game. So again, at this moment, this is a bit, a bit difficult because I believe that my players deserve a little bit more regarding to score goals. And but for the moment, this is the reality. So the idea is to rest and to prepare for the final, because again, it was not easy to prepare the game, knowing that we have the final at the same time, knowing that we play mini games. But this is the way it is. And again, the belief of my player is really strong, and this is the most important for me.
Just a final question. The players obviously have said that they need to look at themselves. Some of the supporters were booing at half-time. Some walked out, before the end of the game. What would you say to them to be a little bit more? Is it patience you're looking for? Ahead of such an important game on Sunday.
No, listen. I respect the fans are really important for us. They are key. They know that, and we play for them. So this is clear. So now, they were not happy with the situation, so they show this. They show it. So again, I know where we are going. For the moment, in terms of result, this is not what we want, but I can see a lot of good things. And yes, patience. Obviously, this is something important. But I know also that patience, this is difficult in football. But I believe that in what we do, and I believe that shortly things gonna go in our way.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
That is the Celtic manager, Wilfred Nancy, speaking about what he thought and how he thought the game went this evening. Can the manager turn this around? We've had 180 votes in, considering that's quite poor, considering we've had over 2,336 people on the live this evening. It's been an interesting evening. I am going to call it quits tonight. I will do a live tomorrow. I won't be in the studio, so it won't be all singing and dancing the way it normally is. So you'll have to just bear with me on that note. Anyway, Celtic got humiliated in the first half against Roma this evening. The players were playing out of position. The manager changed it the second half. Liam Scales heads back into his own goal. Some people think Liam Scales had an amazing game. Some people says that Liam Scales had a shite game. I have no idea where we're going to go under this manager, but there's one thing for sure, that we'll put our seatbelts in, sit back. We might not enjoy the ride, but there's one thing for sure, that we always look on the bright side of life. And as I finish this video tonight, I think that's the one thing that we need to remember as Celtic fans. No words. Speak to you all in the morning. Have a fantastic evening, Celtic fans, wherever you are, all around the world.